Hello, and welcome to the Roughneck Minute, a Movies by Minute podcast where we go over the movie Starship Troopers, 1 minute at a time. I'm one of your hosts, Matthew.
And I'm your other host, Johann.
And we're at minute 66. This minute begins with Dizzy telling everyone back to the boats, and ends with Kitten firing on an oncoming warrior bug. So yes, we do find out who Rigo is talking to at this moment. He is asking who has comms. And it is Dizzy.
Yep, it's just a reveal.
It's just a reveal. So, and yeah, she says it's a general retreat, everyone back to the boats. So it sounds honestly like this whole entire invasion is not going too well.
Nope, it's a bay of pigs.
It really is. I mean, this is not only that, but it's like as we discussed in last couple minutes, this may be a planet-wide or at least a very, very large invasion, and a general retreat for the whole entire fleet and the whole entire operation to just retreat is kind of bad.
Yeah, this actually is kind of reminiscent to Zulu Nation.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I remember that. Yeah, that's such a great movie. It's Michael Caine and a couple of the other guys, right?
What about your drug addiction? Michael Caine?
Michael Caine? Yes.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
But yeah, it's the British Navy invading the Zulu Nation, Africa. And all the Zulus did to try and prevent from being slaughtered by the ships was stay away from it's a distance of the cannons. So all the Navy had to run up the beach and they got slaughtered.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking of a different movie. I'm thinking of Zulu.
Well, the movie is based on that actual history thing.
Okay.
So it is based on that, and the British Navy gets slaughtered because they're now going against this the tribe that's they know this land, they know how to use it to their advantage, and because the Navy kind of the British relied on their ships, without their ships they were kind of screwed.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing where you think, or it's a tale as old as modern warfare or even just like ancient warfare. Some people think that, or some groups think that they are superior in some ways, technological or social as well too, and they will just, get their butts handed to them because they're either not on an even playing field at all, or they just underestimate their enemy completely.
Yes. So this is kind of what happens in a way, because you can assume that the less technological one, just when they were invaded, they knew what to do to defend against these guys, and they literally did it. They landed with ships, and then they took them out with caverns.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, and also that's the thing too. I mean, you're basically going up against. I mean, I'm guessing of Willie's Wildcats right now is going up against just one like little nest of. Because I'm figuring that Clendathu is just completely covered with nests and nests of like kind of like ant hills. Yeah. And the warriors would be like their soldier ants, and you nuke one ant hill, the very top of it, like what happens when you spit on an ant hill, all the rest of them come out.
Yeah. And
they will just attack. So they just stirred up the hive pretty much. The whole entire planet right now is just a group of ants that you just blew on, and they're going crazy.
Yeah, that's about it.
Frenzing is what I believe it's called.
Yeah.
But we get a little bit of a scene change after that. There is a warrior bug attacking a trooper on top of a hill, and we're watching the troopers retreat towards us. Yes, we also get a very familiar, sound or a very familiar voice. It's Greg Travis again. He's reprising his role from the very beginning of a movie. Actually, you know what? I think it's the same shots. It was just cut down in the very beginning of the movie.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, the just because his voice and his inflections and everything and the way he looks on the screen right now kind of looks the same as it does at the very beginning of the movie.
Okay.
But yeah, it's Greg Travis. He's, reprising his, or doing the same thing that happened in the movie. So we're all basically caught up right now to current events from the beginning of the movie.
I went back and forth comparing this scene to the beginning of the movie, and a lot of it seems pretty accurate. I'm trying to find out where the other camera was the entire time, because obviously in a later minute, there's that scene that's reminiscent to the beginning with Casper Van Dien or Rico, of where he falls and everything seems pretty shot for shot. So I'm wondering where possibly how did they do this if there wasn't a second camera filming?
I'm thinking because that cameraman is using a bigger camera, I think that is a camera, and they just used that because they wanted to get that kind of like reporting on site feel.
So one of the scenes one of the parts in the filming that I thought didn't make sense, which is why I was trying to figure out where the filming was not, or why this scene didn't match up to the beginning. When the cameraman gets Johnny in his sights and Johnny says, "Get out of here now," the cameraman runs and he has his camera pointing downwards. That is not part of the beginning. That's why it makes me think either they redid it or there was a second camera. Because at no time do you see the ground as he runs.
Too true. I mean, he may have just exactly, I could say that it probably was maybe a reshoot as well too, because these are professional actors that we are talking about. And if you tell them, hey, can you do the same thing, same inflection, just copy for copy, word for word, same thing that you did beforehand. Can you do it twice?
Yeah, and the angle in the beginning where we named the episode with Ace going
yes,
the cameraman is nowhere near him compared to that shot.
True. Okay, yeah. So it probably is two different shots.
Yeah, but I mean that's just one of those things about being an incredible actor, of making it seem exact, like the take for take seem exactly the same.
I mean, fooled me.
Yeah. So, real quick, just to backtrack, the British force that got beaten by the Zulu nation it's called Isand Lawana, so it's not based on the movie Zulu, I think. This one's based in 1879.
Okay.
And the one oh, no, it is. Maybe they changed the story in the movie Zulu.
Well, yeah, in the movie Zulu, they were defending a small little monastery against they were inland in a valley and everything, and they were defending a monastery against the surrounding Zulus. And the only reason that they survived was because after 2 or 3 days of attacking, the British were still there, and the Zulus were like, dang, okay, you guys are warriors, we respect you, and they backed off.
Yeah. So, meh. Anyways.
It's a good movie. I mean, I recommend it to anyone who wants to watch, a nice, or a awesome, epic movie with Michael Caine. Yeah. Not Mike Cocaine, but Michael Caine.
Because the first one that you said is basically Scarface.
Yeah, I mean, this whole entire town is like a big giant chicken just waiting to be plucked, which is not what he says.
Yeah, but that's a callback to all the edited TV or movies for TV, because that is one of the lines. Yeah, if you aren't aware, if you haven't seen Scarface on TBS, that is a line. The city's just a chicken waiting to get plucked.
Where'd you get a scar like that, man? Eating pineapple? That is not what he says either.
Nope.
But Greg Travis turns around. He notices that something's behind him. It is a warrior. And I'm actually at 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 21 seconds right now. And you see Greg right here, FedNet correspondent, shocked. And poor guy, he's about to be attacked.
Yep. He knows he's done for. Same with the cameraman. The cameraman just sits there and he's just filming. He's like, nope, that's it.
No, I mean, he probably has someone in his ear, like a producer just says, hey, keep on the shot, keep on the shot.
Yeah, probably. But
I mean, I'm thinking someone like Vince McMahon, keep it on, get the good angle. You gotta get at 45 degrees. What the heck is wrong with you?
That guy's big. Let's put a belt on him.
I need to get him in the ring.
Oh, yeah. Greg Travers, you're fired. Yeah, I think his growl went over to Stephanie. It definitely skipped Shane O'Mac.
And I'm glad because honestly, this isn't going to become a wrestling podcast. And, I'm kind of glad because there are way too many of those out there right now, and we would probably get no traction at all. But I'm not a really big fan of Shane O'Mac right now.
Oh, with the what's going on with SmackDown?
Yeah, I'm really not. Especially, I'm more of I'm more of a fan of what's his face?
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan a lot better. I mean, he seems a little more fair as commish than
Yeah, but I think Daniel Bryan's planning an exit because Brie wants to wrestle again, and I think so does he. So I think Shane O'Mac turning heel is going to be the best route.
I know,
because the minute he turns heel, then Daniel Bryan leaves.
Yeah, he is a good wrestler. I don't know. I don't know, man. This isn't going to become a wrestling podcast.
Nope. But it's just our opinions.
Yeah.
And what's a podcast without tangents? Alrighty. So, at about 26 seconds into this minute, this one looks like one of the puppets again.
Yes, this looks like it is Mech War, just because it's not going to be the full... it is going to be like the full mandibles, the body in the back, and a few arms as well, too. So, looks like Mech War has been being used quite a bit in the scene. And
about 37 seconds in, there's an aerial shot looking down where you see Greg Tavers panicking, screaming, as he should. And you can see the joint of the bug.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like the robot here because it definitely looks separated and it's a ball joint. And it's the way it's positioned. This is not made for how the leg actually bends. This seems to be more for stability joint because the covering is on the bottom, which it should be on the top.
Well, so Mech War itself wasn't supported by the legs at all. It was on a boom crane. So the whole entire body itself was just on a crane, and the arms and legs could move around as they were. But I definitely do get it.
Yeah.
But they were trying to cover up on top than they were on the bottom.
Yeah, because from this shot, it looks like looking at the pit of an elbow when it should be looking at the top of a knee.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just assuming that this scene was just done specifically to, maybe they just switched it around because it was in the way of a shot, and this just looks better. So, that's my assumption.
I'm guessing you're right on that one.
Because if you say it was just being hung by a crane, which I understand.
Well, no, I'll actually post a picture of Mech War on the Facebook group as well too, and it's not hung from a crane. It's how like a boom crane is, like it's basically kind of like not a scissor lift, but like a crane on the bottom. It doesn't have anything that goes up or anything, but it goes up and down and kind of moves around.
Yeah,
yeah.
But what I mean is that everything isn't supported by these legs of the bug itself. That they can adjust it as necessary. And they just wanted to get the leg out of the way of the shot, but don't take it away because then it loses everything about the bug.
Correct.
So, no space wizards on this one.
No space wizards. But we get a shot of the bug itself cutting Greg in half again.
In twain. He
splits and dies pretty quick, actually, which probably wouldn't happen unless you're going into shock. I mean, that's a lot of loss of blood, but even still, I mean, I've been on Faces of Death back in the day, and I know that if you're cut in half, you can still survive for a little bit.
Yeah, but it's actually also in World War Z where I heard this explanation where your system just goes through a big shock that shuts itself down to protect itself, and then you're just dead anyways. So even though you're technically alive, you are not conscious to react to it.
Yeah, and I mean he is probably still alive, but just on his way of dying. But yeah, I definitely think that's the case as well too. But the group does kill the bug that did attack our FedNet correspondent, and we don't hear Jake Busey's or this time at all. But we do see the squad at the beginning of the movie killing the bug, and then Rico yelling at the cameraman, "Hey, get out of here now!"
Yeah, get out of here now. Sorry, I was mouthing out what he says. I should have.
No problem.
But it's actually a good delivery because it seems like the same exact shot from the beginning of the movie. So that's just really good for him.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, that's why I kept thinking that this was pretty much shot for shot, 2 cameras at the same time doing the same exact thing. But there are differences. I mean, definitely like Jake Busey difference. The camera on the cameraman's, not pointing down at all. The beginning of the movie also is incredibly short. I think it's only around 30 seconds. And then it gets back to, years later or like a year or two later. But, I'm pretty sure that's just cut down for time as well, too.
Yeah, unless it obviously wasn't the technology at the time, unless everything was shot on like a GoPro. Mm-hmm. Because you don't see the camera operator's face. But, yeah, these are 2 different shots. There's no way it could be separate. I could be wrong, but there's just no evidence to support that it's 2 different shots.
It definitely is.
Or there's no evidence to support it's a single shot.
Yeah, definitely. It makes it a lot easier too. I'm pretty sure it's a lot easier for Verhoeven to just tell everyone, "Hey, use the same inflection," or if you don't, try to mouth it out, and we'll work it in post, kind of thing.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure the editors or the sound engineers as well too could definitely edit that kind of stuff in.
I could see that. That's actually a good idea.
Like, just copy it over, same inflection, just like, hey, mouth it.
Yeah.
But we get more guys, running their retreat. A couple of them, hey, say, watch your flank. So you hear over the radio as well, too, something about the extract being overrun. So this may be close as well, too. So either their drop zone or their extraction point or someone else's extraction point right now is being overrun by bugs as well, too.
Yeah, I'm assuming that they didn't know that they could dig, so they landed right on like a cavern path, and that's what the problem is right now.
But unfortunately, Kitten seems like he's lagging behind a little bit, and he turns around and sees that a warrior is bearing down on him pretty fast. And he turns around, does his scared kitten, not an actual scared kitten, but scared kitten, the character kitten, kind of yell like no or wah, is what I keep hearing sometimes.
I think it's when it does, like, he realizes it's almost too late at this point.
Yeah, and he's just firing just for firing's sake, just because it's the only thing he can do out of desperation.
Yeah.
But really, that's where that minute ends. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about this particular minute?
No. I don't have notes or other things I want to bring up until the next couple minutes.
Yeah, same. This is kind of just a general retreat minute.
Yeah.
In fact, that maybe you want that title. General Retreat Minute and something else. But where can they find you, Johann?
You guys can find me on Twitch and Instagram at JDASHD26. You can also find me on Twitter at OMG It's Johann.
You guys can find me at AltTabMatt pretty much anywhere on the internet. You guys can also follow us on Twitter at TheRoughneckMin, M-I-N. You can go to our website, theroughneckminute.podbean.com, for any past episodes or show notes. Or you can go to our Facebook group, The Roughneck Minute Billet, B-I-L-L-E-T, to continue the conversation and talk about general retreats and how many you've been in. I personally have been in 2.
2?
2. I won't talk about it.
Well, I know it's not the other one because you got married that one time.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Guys, please go ahead and subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or any other podcast you guys can find. But I've been one of your host, Matthew.
And I've been your other host, Johann.
And we will see you on the Bounce Troopers.
Hold on. Oh god, that was hard to do.
It's hard to do a Vince McMahon voice, especially around this time of year,
Yeah.
just because all of our throats are a little, it's surprising that Vince can do it himself.
I think that's his speaking voice, so that's different. Hold on. Oh god, how does he do that? God, that's gotta
be.
That's gotta be natural. There's no way he can do that. Like to act. My eyes are all watering up. My throat hurts real bad.
I mean, also you didn't, screw over, Stone Cold Steve Austin during a certain point, and come out and say it was me, Austin.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I wasn't behind a Quebec job.
No,
Which is even worse.